Never gets old.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another episode number 17.
17
of the Geekdom Underground podcast.
Woo!
Wow, we've been pretty consistent, man. This is pretty cool, huh?
Dude, I dig it. I'm really excited. I enjoy doing it with you.
I enjoy doing it with you too. I think it's a lot of fun. We get to spotlight some of the cool people within the community, and it just so happens that today we have another cool person. Well, before we get into that,
Yes, sir.
it's your boy JRG.
There he is.
Program manager here at Geekdom. Who are you, sir?
Good morning, everybody. My name is Phillip Hernandez. I'm COO here at Geekdom, and I'm super excited today to have episode 17 of Geekdom Underground. And today we have Geekdom member Brandon Howard, founder of Zelifcam, a software development agency.
There it is.
Super excited to have you. Thanks for joining us, Brandon.
Yeah, of course.
So y'all know we like to keep it just cool and casual and chill in the Geekdom Underground podcast studio. So if you could, Brandon, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from.
Yeah, so I'm originally from Odessa, Texas, West Texas, right? And now I'm not. So here we are. I grew up in Odessa, moved to Midland, which is also kind of oil-filled country over there, and got into IT, programming, started my own companies there, and then now I'm here.
Right on. So when you say Odessa, I'm not really familiar with where Odessa is, but I know West Texas. And when I think West Texas, I think like Big Bend, Marfa, El Paso.
No, those are the nice places. So Odessa and Midland is kind of in this weird armpit part of Texas.
Oh, right on.
And it's just nothing but desert and sand and oil. It's
really?
Uh-huh.
In the armpit.
In the armpit of Texas. Okay.
You're right. It's just like ours, you know.
Yeah. So when did you get into IT?
Ah, man. So I've been a computer nerd my whole life. So my first computer was like maybe in 1992 or something. And then I got the internet in 1996 and was promptly banned from AOL in 1997.
Right on.
So there you go.
Was that for pleasure? Like you were just having fun, or
doing weird stuff like
hey, can I break this? Hey, can I get into this?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it was very easy to do that stuff back then. So,
yeah.
And that's actually where my company name came from too. So,
really?
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Okay. So when I first got AOL, I did what every kid does when they get the internet and pirates software, right?
Right on.
And so at elementary school, that we were playing this game called SimAnt, which was made by the same people who make SimCity. And I was like, man, I want to play this at home. So I go and I find it on AOL's little chat room called Mac Files, which is with a Z at the end. And I download it.
It's legit.
It's legit, right? I pirate download it, like, man, this is amazing. And then I get really deep into that scene. And then AOL bans the chat room, right? Like, oh no, what do we do? So we changed the name to Zelifcam, which is Mac Files backwards. And so that was kind of a formative moment for me, like, hey, if that's all it takes to get around stuff, what else can we do? And then, so that's kind of what started me on this journey.
Yeah, that was your intro to like the hacker culture.
Yeah.
Like, just finding your way around those things.
Exactly.
Right on. And so were there other, like, did you have like other friends or family in Odessa that was into that kind of thing, or were you solo?
Solo. Yeah. Solo for a long time. When I got in high school, I had a few friends who were kind of into technology and things, but overall it's pretty much solo. Yeah.
So you were all self-taught, or did you have like a mentor?
Self-taught.
Really?
Yeah.
And so when you say like I was a computer nerd, were you like into like gaming? Like I don't think that somebody just gets a computer and then they're like, oh, I'm gonna pirate software. Like, how did you, or was that the thing?
How do I get this for free?
Yeah.
So it got dark really quick, right?
Yeah.
So I got the internet, and first thing I do is like, how do I get software for free? And then I'm like, wow. Then I saw that movie Hackers that was released in like 94.
Yeah.
Angelina Jolie in it.
Should have had a Z.
Yes, it should have. It would have probably been more successful. But yeah, I saw that and like, man, now I need to do this stuff. And then I got into the whole hacking, cracking, and phone freaking thing. That used to be big then. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
Did you end up finding the Angelina Jolies in that culture?
No, those do not exist.
So let's fast forward a little bit. So were you, high school, AOL ban, Mac files, but then when did you transition this like hobby of tinkering with computer things
Mhm.
into like a job, or when did you realize that you could do that?
So it was kind of later in life. I was like 24 or so. Before that, I was doing construction, managing restaurants, all kinds of stuff. And then I realized, like, why am I doing this? I'm so good at this other thing.
Yeah.
And so I started doing this other thing and got an IT job as a help desk person. Then pretty quickly moved through the ranks, like in less than 5 years from IT help desk. Then I went to Rackspace for a little while for being a system admin, Linux system admin. Then through a couple other jobs to IT director in about a little less than 5 years.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And then I got burnt out. I just couldn't do politics. It wasn't my thing.
Yeah.
So I started my own thing.
And let's think about your first job. When you first got paid doing like computer things, IT help desk. I was on a similar path. And that's probably your favorite job that you've ever had, right?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was for an oil field company where I actually had to teach a guy how to use the shift key, and what the difference between shift and caps lock was. Yeah, that was fun. So
It's enjoyable.
yeah, I earned that check.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
sure.
Yeah. So our paths crossed. Obviously, I know you because you're a Geekdom member and we are neighbors. We share a wall.
Yeah.
And but we worked together beforehand, and we were also neighbors when we were at Rackspace. We worked really close with each other, and I think about that time, and I don't even know if we've ever talked about this, but you were very impactful in my technical career because when I was at Rackspace, I don't know if you remember, but there was like that Dragon migration and
Yeah.
and so I kind of was able to wiggle my way into the cloud servers team. And in order to stay, remember, I had to like learn Linux.
Yeah. I remember that.
and to give some context, we were in second shift, so our day started later and ended later. And yeah, you really helped me just like break through these barriers where it was, if you're not self-taught, if it's not something that comes easy to you, or like you get excited about doing it on your off time, which was me. This was like learning a totally new language. You really helped me to understand it and like put it into easier terms to understand. So thank you so much for
thank you for bringing it up. That's awesome.
Yeah, for being there
glad
for
I
me.
could help.
So I want to talk about that time because you were helpful to not only me but also others that had joined that team. And what was that like for you, being like senior on the technical side and having 4 or 5 folks that were super fresh?
So it kind of changed my trajectory. What really makes me happy, I guess. So I enjoy helping people, and prior to that moment, I didn't really get that same satisfaction. So I was helping people who were like in the oil field, like how to type, how to use shift, right?
Yeah.
And then when I was at Rackspace, obviously I was helping the customers, but I was also helping my team members grow and create their careers. And that really just changed the trajectory of what my goals were in life.
The
So,
impact of what you were
Mhm.
doing was like way greater.
oh yeah.
It was
Yeah.
affecting lives ultimately.
Yeah. And I think also it was like visible. Like that wasn't necessarily your job
No.
to help your teammates. But yeah, that was such a cool time. Like I remember those like late nights at Rackspace, and it was pretty cool because on second shift, especially towards like the end, like around 11 or midnight, there's nobody in the castle. The castle's this massive like old mall
Yeah.
that's usually like just the hustle and bustle was real, but
Mhm.
at that time it was scary, it was spooky.
Spooky.
Dude, it was spooky. And then we had Brant rocking us too.
Dude, shout out to our last guest.
Dude, yeah, that was a was a good time. Yeah, we were all on the same team, which was which was awesome.
Playing frisbee golf throughout the building. It was great. Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
We
That's
did.
a deep cut.
Dude, that is a deep cut. Yeah, I don't even know how that happened, but we ended up playing disco.
It happened.
Yeah. Yeah, what's your favorite safe for work story from Rackspace?
You know, I don't know of any off the top of my head. Let me think. Oh, okay. Yeah. So I think we hung Brant's chair off the
Caillouette.
ceiling.
It was Caillouette's
Caillouette's chair. Yeah. 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 That was good. Yeah.
Wait, I
Strung
need to know deets. What happened?
You want to explain it, Philip? I barely remember it now.
This was a true team effort. But what happened is there was another team member, Jaime. You remember Jaime?
Yeah.
And for like 2 days, he was having trouble with his internet, which whenever somebody on our team was experiencing like a technical difficulty, it was super funny because we were like technical people. and so we never wanted to take our stuff to the help desk. We always wanted to like fix it ourselves. And when you're trying to fix something yourself, especially on that team, it's like popping the hood in the parking lot of AutoZone. Everybody crowds around and nobody helps. They just tell you that they would do it a lot better. And so that was happening with Jaime. He just couldn't connect to his internet. And one day, like, I don't know, he had gone through like 3 or 4 Ethernet cables, and like I think somebody tried to make their own like Cat 5 cable to try and like fix it. And one time he pulled it out and there was a piece of Scotch tape that was in the port.
That's right.
You remember?
Yeah.
And that's why I was having issues.
Yes. Well, Chris Caillouette, who was our leader at the time and great friend of ours, but he, we would always pull pranks on each other that were harmless like that. And that was one of them. Was he put a piece of Scotch tape on a Ethernet cable and then plugged it in so that it would stick inside. And then when you take it out, you don't know what's going on, but it breaks the contact.
Classic.
And dude, it was super class. It was hilarious. But anyway, when Jaime found that out, he was livid. And it just so happened when he found that out, Chris was out of town.
Ooh, payback season.
Yes.
He was out of town. He was out of office. And he never was out of office. Chris was always there.
And just for side note, Chris was the homie that was here. He like came down for a bit.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Chris is the
Ponytail.
He's got the ponytail on the guts.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Braids on both sides. But anyway, so yeah. It's like the Cajun pigtails.
Yeah.
but yeah, so anyway, and he's a prankster. He loved stuff like that. But he had this massive like recliner, like lazy boy kind of a chair in our area. Our area had some weird desks.
No, it did.
Some funny desks. But anyway, so it was a really heavy chair. It was a pain to move. And I don't know who had the idea, but somebody was like, we should tie his chair to the ceiling.
And it happened.
Well, like technical people do when somebody said the idea, and then coupled with, no, I don't think we'd be able to do that, or you wouldn't be able to do that.
Problem solver
Yeah.
mindset.
Dude,
It's like, oh no, we can do that easy. No, yeah.
It snapped in. Everybody like somebody was like, oh, I know how to tie knots, and somebody was like, oh, I have like 500 feet of climbing rope in my truck. So
ready to go.
Just so happened.
Yeah, it was Josh that had all that climbing rope. So then he went to get it, brought it back, and then we all put our heads together on how to rig it up. And we had an Eagle Scout in the ranks. He whipped up some knots and tied the thing up, and it took like
Philip was like, I know how to barbecue really well.
Yeah.
Making food for everyone.
Dude, I had the fajitas going, dude. But yeah, and then we so we figured out how to tie it, but we couldn't lift it off the ground. And in this building where we're at, it's what, like 20 foot?
Yeah, 20, 25 feet.
Yeah. And so it was really high with like rafters. And I think we tied rope to like a football.
That's awesome.
Threw it over multiple times, but we couldn't get it off the ground. All of us were pulling and all this stuff. And the whole time, Brant was just sitting at his computer, just like typing, like working.
He's
Yeah,
working.
keep in mind,
Yeah.
we're on shift.
We
right?
were on the clock. But Brant was just working, not saying anything. And then he just kind of looks over, just all Brant style, like grunts, takes off his thing, and like everybody got out of the way. And Brant single-handedly picks up the chair.
I love that.
Yeah, he picks up the chair, and then we all tightened it up. And the bottom of the lazy boy, if you can picture me standing up, the bottom was at eye level when I'm standing.
Oh, geez.
And Chris was a manager, so he would have to get there during first shift hours, and we didn't get there till about 2. So he got there about 9 in the morning, and nobody was there to explain or
to help him
or anything. But yeah, that was a good time.
That's a good day.
God, solid. That was a solid memory.
I saw an hour and a half just wasted up there, but yeah.
I mean,
That's good. Building culture.
Oh, yeah,
know?
yeah.
true. You think about too, like defining moments in your career.
Mhm.
That's one of them.
That's
Oh,
one
yeah,
of them.
yeah. I used to put it on my resume. So
See,
That's so cool, though.
Oh, dude. and
I
it-
just there has to be a photo.
Oh, there's definitely photos. I have.
there has to be.
Yeah, I have photos.
Oh, yeah.
I have photo. I think I have a video too of Brant
Manhandling it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
picking it up. Brant picked it up like I pick up a folding chair.
Jeez.
he was just like,
What a legend.
yeah, he was. That was legendary. But yeah, that was a good time. So let's talk about your Rackspace journey from there on the like sysadmin, which for some context, we were chatters.
Mhm, mhm.
We were in chat support. So yeah, we would rock that.
Is that what they would call you all? Chatters? And then there was phoners?
What were they, like CSTs, I think?
Yeah.
Chat support technicians.
yeah,
Yeah.
CSTs. But then our internal name, like the first shift were the Mad Chatters.
Hey.
Hey.
And I don't remember. I think we were just like
Second
second
shift.
shift.
Those guys.
We didn't really subscribe. Yeah. One
Totally emo.
time first shift came, and like we all came to our desks, and all of our the mouse, everybody's mouse was unplugged. And so like whenever we sat down, it just didn't work. And so we thought that was adorable. But when first shift came in the next day, all of theirs were hanging from the rafter.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we did have a lot of fun.
I hope you realize you're giving me and Elijah ideas right now.
Oh, dude. I mean, I will say, like I've told y'all before, do not get into prank war with Brandon. And I will say too, like if you want, I welcome it. Y'all bring it. But I have a lot up my sleeve because of my time at Rackspace. Do you remember the lawn desk? Somebody so people would go on like sabbatical and leave for like months or something. And somebody put chia seeds in their keyboard.
Oh my god.
Wait,
No, I didn't
what?
see that.
That's just cruel.
And then it just started growing out of their keyboard. Oh god. Yeah. So yeah, go ahead. Y'all bring on the pranks. And then but I know that if I ever need pranks, I know whose brain to pick.
Yeah.
You know? So Rackspace, we had our fun when you transitioned out of cloud servers and sysadmin. Where did you go from there?
So I left Rackspace to go back to Midland. Just had some personal issues going on, had to go back. And while I was there, that's when I became a applications manager at another oil field company. And that lasted for a little while. Then I went to a manufacturing company and became the IT director there. And that lasted for a little while. And then I started a clone of Geekdom in Midland. And yeah, that was my first company. So
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So I owned a little co-working space for a little while. And
Yeah.
it was good.
Before we get into that, did you like leadership?
Yeah, I really did. Yeah. I enjoyed leadership. I just didn't enjoy like office politics. It just wasn't my thing.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't like having to you know, like
Act a
not
certain
tell the
way
truth
or-
about stuff or have to
Yeah.
bend the truth. You know,
Yeah.
I like to be straightforward.
Or say things a certain way or
Yeah,
something like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, Elijah's coming. Hey, Elijah.
Hey, sir.
Yeah.
Then they walk away and it's totally different.
Mhm.
Hey, we got a shout out in the chat. Shout out to his co-working space. Helped me out in my career.
Who was that? Who was
It's
that?
Daniel Buenrostro.
Hey, Danny.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. Okay. So what a great segue. Thank you. But so let's talk about your co-working space. So in Midland what's Midland like?
Man, well, you see this table.
Yes.
There it is. So no, Midland's not that bad. So it's kind of like a white collar well-filled town. So like all the people who go to the offices are typically in Midland, and that's where kind of all the tech jobs and things of that nature are.
Oh, right on.
Mhm.
Okay. So what made you like think of doing a co-working space?
So I missed having any sort of community. So while I was in San Antonio, I got used to being around people and who shared the same, you know, interests and talents. And when I was put back in Midland, I was lonely. So, you know, I started a couple of groups, like a Linux group and a Medessa IT professionals and all kinds of stuff. And then that finally culminated with me starting or trying to start a little hacker space, essentially, which just to build a community.
Yeah. How long did you do that for?
For about 2.5 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So it was going.
Yeah. Well, it was going, you know.
Yeah.
It's not around anymore for a reason, right?
Yeah.
So
did you do it? Did you accomplish what you set out to do in building a community?
Yeah, I think so. I think I helped quite a few people get their careers started, which was great. That was my goal. You know, I wanted to build a community, and but you got to pay the bills. So it's cool. You can do all these nice things and try to, you know, get people started and help their lives. But if you can't pay the bills, you got to figure it out. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that had to go away.
Yeah. When you were running that co-working space, was that your only thing, or did you have a side hustle as well?
I was running that, and then I was taking on clients to do software development work. When I first opened it, though, I started. I was still an IT director at a manufacturing company there, so you know I was bootstrapping that through that income stream. Then at a certain point, I was like, man, I really like being at this place a lot better than I do at my office. So I quit my job. You know, no real plan, right? I just quit my job. I'm like, I'm just going to office out of here, and this is going to work. And it didn't work.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You were making money off your software development, but not so much off the co-working space.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And you didn't want to like fund that.
Yeah.
Right on. So what made you move back to San Antonio?
Well, tired of West Texas, really.
Yeah.
My wife and I came out here, and you know, we both really like San Antonio, so we're like, let's come out here, run away together out here instead. And here we are.
So, right on. Yeah. So you came into Geekdom in 2020, right?
Yeah.
That's when you came back.
Yes.
Over to Geekdom. And I remember that was a weird time because you were one of the few that were coming in.
Yeah, I had the whole place to myself
when we first started.
Great.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, so but that was cool, like bouncing off ideas off of you on like how we bring people back and all that kind of stuff. What was it like coming into this place, knowing what Geekdom was before, and coming in and it being like empty?
So there's so many differences from how it used to be. I was coming to Geekdom when it first opened, you know, like 10 years ago now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the culture is so different now, which it's an improvement. I mean, it's so great. I like the culture now. And, you know, but it was so quiet. It was a little eerie. It was a little
spooky.
eerie.
Yeah,
and, but yeah, it was cool though. It let me kind of set my roots in a nice, calm manner.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. San Antonio was kind of, or downtown as a whole was kind of weird during that time. Yeah. I have a very vivid memory of like when I called Jess and I was like, hey, I'm walking down Houston Street, like down the middle of Houston Street. like at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. On a Tuesday, that you can never do that. Normally there's like all kinds of traffic, but yeah, there was nobody. That was a weird time. So came back to Geekdom.
I remember I gave you the tour.
You did, yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah, and I was like, dude, was that B. Howard?
Yeah.
Is that Brandon? But yeah, so you came back. I remember you were doing some software development. You were still kind of doing your own thing. When did you transition into Zelifcam?
So at the beginning of 2020, so basically as soon as I got here, transitioned into the name Zelifcam. I was just operating as a sole proprietor, just under my name, and now I'm not. So now it's Zelifcam LLC.
Right on.
Mm-hmm.
Have you? 'Cause it sounds like your first time getting into being an entrepreneur is when you started that co-working space. Did you have other stuff? Like, were you ever doing that on the side, or do you have any side hustles now that you just kind of keep up with?
Yeah. So I also operate another company called San Antonio Spores.
Shout out.
Hey,
so I'm
the Spurs?
Yeah,
Spores. Don't put that on me. No, San Antonio Spores, where I'm currently selling cultivation products to grow mushrooms, and hopefully in the next couple of years we'll start growing mushrooms and selling them, putting them in restaurants and such.
Right on. So you don't sell the mushrooms themselves. You sell like something to cultivate the mushroom.
Yeah. So like grain bags. So you have to put the spores or whatever in a bag, and the the mycelium grows on the grain. And then whenever you're ready, you put it into fruiting conditions, and like your lion's mane will explode and you have mushrooms. Yeah.
Really?
Uh-huh.
And like, what's it for? Like, people eat them, like cook with them and stuff?
Yeah. So different mushrooms have different properties. So like lion's mane is good for like inflammation and all kinds of stuff. So it's kind of got some nootropic benefits.
I think there's like this, it's almost trendy now. I mean, I think a lot of people know like all of the benefits from just the vitamins and, just eating natural, eating healthier. But I've seen it and like a lot on Instagram and stuff like that, ads for mushroom based, medicines and stuff.
Okay, it's easily going to be the next cannabis, basically. So right now is a great time to get into that industry and make a name and brand for yourself. So
yeah. Then establishing yourself as like not just the mushrooms I grow, but like, hey, there's this, I can package up this way for you to grow them at home or for your business. And
exactly,
smart.
That's awesome. And so, have you gotten any feedback? Like I don't even know the first thing about cultivating my own mushrooms. Is that something that is easy to do, or do you have to have like a green thumb?
It's surprisingly easy and nothing green about it. So it's not like growing plants or anything. I mean, they're basically their own little life form. I mean, you don't need sunlight or anything of that nature until you're in a fruiting stage, whenever you're trying to make basically the fuzz turn into a mushroom. But it doesn't really care about the light. It just kind of grows in that direction. And but it's not like, it doesn't do photosynthesis, basically. It doesn't convert, things. Yeah.
How'd you get into that?
I don't know. To be honest, it was just kind of accidental.
I
helped a guy in Midland doing a mushroom farm a little bit, and it always stuck with me. And I just decided to pick it up.
Yeah, because I guess you could do it anywhere.
Yeah,
in any climate or anything like that. Wow,
exactly.
Man, that's super cool. I've seen like on Reddit. I surf Reddit. I'm sure you do as well.
Yeah.
But I've seen like people, like especially on the San Antonio Reddit recently too, going and like mushroom hunting and like finding different ones. Is that something that you've ever gotten into?
No. I just like doing the cultivation. So there are people out there that can go out and hunt for mushrooms and identify them and all that stuff. But that's a little dangerous, because you can't always get 100% accurate identification just visually.
Sure.
But, so I just prefer to grow with them.
How do you know which ones you're growing?
Huh?
How do you know which ones that you're growing?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
So usually, you start with some spores of whatever type of mushroom you're growing, or maybe someone will send you, like for lion's mane, for example, you can get a syringe full of spores or liquid culture, which is just like mycelium floating in a kind of a sweet water. And you just inject it into your bag and hope for the best. Right?
Dang, that's so interesting. Wow. San Antonio Spores. That's such a great name.
I know, right?
I'm so waiting for a t-shirt, man.
I know.
Rock
Are you
that.
gonna make some swag?
Yeah, maybe. I have stickers and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
But right now I'm mostly focused on my agency. But
Yeah,
yeah, that's a fun little side thing I'm doing that, you know, I think long term it's going to become a big deal.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Man, that's awesome. And it's a great time to snag the domain. I hope you have that.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the first thing.
Yeah. And I'm hoping that the Spurs will just buy it from me. It's like, man, what if somebody misspells Spurs?
Yeah.
And it's for sale.
Yeah.
So-
For the right price, you
For
know?
the right price.
Maybe some floor seats or something.
Yeah.
But
Hey.
not so much.
No, just money.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, let's talk a little bit about Zelifcam.
Yeah,
So whenever you hear like, oh yeah, I'm a developer, or I do contracting services, I have an agency or something, that is like super broad.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So, yeah. So is there anything specifically that you work on, or is there a project that you're particularly proud of?
Yeah. So yeah, it is hard to explain what I do because I work with businesses in various verticals, ranging from finance to manufacturing. So right now, I'm working on products for a real estate investment company, a company that operates a stock tips system for trading, a manufacturing company in Wisconsin that does vanity tops like in marble and granite.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of all over the place, right? But the things I'm most proud of right now are definitely one of my clients in Austin. This is this real estate one I'm talking about. Basically, building a system that allows them to manage their company in a really, pretty easy way compared to what they were doing. So, what I typically target for a company as a potential client is someone or is a company that's basically going from mom and pop status to we need to grow up status. So that Google spreadsheet is no longer efficient enough to continue scaling. And so that's where we come in and help them get past that hurdle.
So you make like customized solutions.
Mhm.
So it's not just like, oh, let me teach you how to use this pre-existing software or whatever it is. It's like, hey, let me build something specifically for your needs and for your organization.
Yeah. And sometimes I do just push people towards pre-created software like Salesforce or Zoho or something.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because not everybody needs a custom solution.
Sure.
Not every company is, that not trying to be mean, but that special and niche. But
Yeah.
some companies are, and Salesforce simply won't do what they need to do in a easy or even cost-effective way.
It just
So-
turns into like an educational opportunity where it's like, hey, I don't know if you realize this, but you can use this thing and it does all these things.
Exactly. Yeah, I always try to give people that choice. Like, we can just look at this and configure it correctly, and it'll do 98% of what you want, and that'll save money and time. Or we can build you something cool, and we usually build something cool. So
I like that.
Yeah.
So everybody that you mentioned that you're doing work for right now, none of them are in San Antonio.
Yeah, you're right. None
Right?
are in San Antonio. Now I am working on a bigger contract right now that with a company that is in San Antonio. And if that goes through, that's going to allow me to hire 2 to 3 more people
Oh,
to
wow.
get this thing done. But we'll see.
How do
We'll
you
see.
get how do they know about Zelifcam?
Just word of mouth. Yeah. So we've got a good reputation. The
Yeah.
company's got a good rep. We've got tons of reviews online. I mean, just it's all word of mouth.
Right on.
We make use of a couple of kind of gig platforms too, like Upwork.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
And you get leads on there so quick and convert them into wonderful customers.
That's
Yeah.
super cool.
Mhm.
So it's not even so much targeted like ad campaigns or like anything,
Mhm.
anything like serious marketing. It's just people knowing that, hey, if we need the good people, go over here.
Yeah. I mean, it makes the cost of customer acquisition almost zero. I mean,
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, it's insane.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. And well, I'm sure I know your technical capabilities are strong, but I'm sure your customer service is also unmatched. Coming from a place like Rackspace where that was like paramount. We always had to be accurate in what we were saying, but also we had to give the best customer service. So
Yeah.
I'm sure that helps with your word of mouth.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm from West Texas, and we kind of have more of a good old boy type demeanor to ourselves, I suppose. So it works in my favor. I'm able to convert these very technical concepts down to, fairly simple language typically. And it's just, I try never to use industry jargon with my clients unless they just want to hear it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I try to make this usually fairly complex project something that's pretty simple. They come to me with something very complex and they leave with something very simple that is manageable, and another developer can pick up later on, or hopefully they just keep paying us to watch it for them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So Grady, I met Grady.
Yeah. Grady's great.
Yeah, he's he's awesome. But that's the first time I've seen you with an employee. Have you had employees under you before with Zelifcam?
So I've had contractors, and I still have contractors. I have 4 right now that are doing work for me, but Grady's my first full-time employee.
What made you make that leap or make that decision?
It's hard to build a good team with just contractors. They can be around for quite a while, but at the end of the day, they're sort of temporary, and it's hard to build a stable, strong team that way.
Mm-hmm.
And
culture or investment or anything like that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah, I think he's a great addition. I mean,
he's wonderful. I'm so pleased.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So you were saying that if you get this contract, it'll give you the ability to hire more people. Is that in the plan? Do you want to build up your team?
Yeah, that's the plan. Yeah, the goal is to obviously keep scaling, keep growing, take more Geekdom office spaces, and fix every voting thing that we have here. Like all the people who vote work for me.
Yeah. That's awesome.
It's just a long con. I just want to win everything.
You just want to win whatever giveaway we have.
Yes.
How do you think like that? Just to hack into That's awesome.
The company's a lie. It's all just to fix an election.
Yeah. When I first met you, we were, like I mentioned earlier, second shift, late, night owls. But now you're like the first one at Geekdom every day.
Yeah.
What's it like in here, like at 5 a.m?
It's quiet, and there's always interesting people walking around outside downtown. So usually someone yelling, or it's weird.
Yeah.
Last year I was walking because I used to park about 2 blocks away. Last year a homeless guy offered me some pizza, and that pizza looked good. And it was like at 4:30 a.m. Like, well,
how'd you get fresh pizza right now?
Okay, so I looked it up. There was or is a pizza or a little restaurant that's open 24 hours, and they serve pizzas here. And at that time in the morning.
Dang.
Yeah. Shout out.
Dang, that's awesome. Yeah, we need to figure out who that is. Dang.
Yeah, because I was concerned, like, where did this nice looking pizza come from?
Yeah.
And did I miss an opportunity? I missed an opportunity. So.
That's awesome. How did you get into the software development side of things?
Everything kind of led me that way. It was never something I really wanted to do. It just kind of happened. So in IT, I was always drawn to automating away things. And when I was at Rackspace, I automated away stuff. And just everything I ever did, even when I was an IT director, like, well, I can't find a good person to do this. I'll just automate it real quick.
Yeah.
And then that's how it worked.
So you learned how to code out of just necessity. You just wanted to make things faster and do that kind of stuff. How did you learn how to code?
I started when I was a kid. So again, like 1996 or so. That was when I started using Linux, and a long time ago.
Yeah.
And at that time, it wasn't very user friendly. So I mean, you had to do a lot of Perl stuff and a lot of shell stuff. And automated away a lot of stuff. Yeah.
So if you get a computer, what OS are you going to run?
So, okay. I'm not a gamer, so it's usually never Windows. And it used to always be Linux, but it's not very good for the desktop anymore, especially if you have a laptop. Power management is kind of junk.
Yeah.
So I usually just go with Apple devices now.
Yeah. He had it queued up. He was ready.
I don't feel good about saying that either. But I mean, you can't beat the hardware. It's so nice. I basically call it professional Linux. And yes, I know it's BSD.
Who was that for?
Whoever is going to try to correct us.
Whoever's in the chat.
Whoever's in chat.
Dude,
The
I
chat's
know.
going crazy.
Whoever's in the chat, dude.
But here's the good news. I barely even use the Apple operating system, OS X or whatever it is now. I just have virtual machines, and I do like all my real work inside of like a Ubuntu VMware virtual machine.
Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of phone do you use?
It's a iPhone also.
Yeah. Hey,
there it is.
Oh, I know.
Does that bother you? You didn't want to get an iPhone?
I did. Well, I got one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just wanted one. I mean, after you go with a MacBook Pro, you're like, man, I sure would like to just sync my photos real quick.
Yeah.
And,
Text messages, you know.
yeah. So I'm slowly getting into that world. But,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I don't feel great about it.
No. What's something? I'm sure you have something. What's something that you have applied your technical skills to that had nothing to do with work, that was just kind of like a fun project?
So I didn't get to bring it. Y'all get to see it tomorrow, but well, I'm not gonna tell you. There you go.
Yeah. Okay.
See it tomorrow.
So you heard it here, everybody. Go by the Zelifcam office
Yes.
and see
The thing.
the thing
The
that we're
thing.
talking about.
The
It's
thing.
a surprise,
It's a surprise. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
awesome.
That's something, and it's not a very good answer.
Yeah,
Uh,
that was a terrible answer.
It was, but it's a thing. So yeah, I've automated a lot of stuff. Everything's for work. That's kind of my hobby. So
Yeah.
it's weird. Like I don't have to take vacations because I enjoy everything I do. So I don't consider what I'm doing work. This is all just my passion. It's fun. So
Yeah.
it's kind of I am Zelifcam, I guess. That's just me. So
Are you a
That's sweet.
robot or?
my team.
Yeah, there it is.
Very convincing. Yeah, like, do you do anything like with automation at your house?
No, I really dislike home automation.
Interesting.
Yeah. Why?
Okay, so how much money and time do you want to spend to just like turn on the light and just go flip the switch?
That's
Well,
true.
now there's like all these self-hosted automation platforms you can use, so you don't have like Amazon and Google spying on you.
Yeah.
So I think those are cool, but it's hard for me to justify the time and effort in setting all that up. Like,
Yeah.
I have a Google Home that all I do is use it to play lightning sounds for a bird and for a parrot and, to sleep to. And that's it,
Really?
Yeah.
You have a parrot?
Yeah. It's a Goffin's cockatoo. My wife has a parrot and I've inherited that parrot.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, we got in the chat. Hold on, need more parrot info.
Yeah. Let's talk about. Can we expand on the parrot?
Okay. What do you want to know?
Well, you said what kind did you say it was?
It's a Goffin's cockatoo.
Goffin's cockatoo. So I don't know anything about them, but what I'm thinking it is like the white bird with like the
it's
thing.
White. Yeah, it is white.
Does it have
Yeah.
the thing on its head?
Mhm. Yeah, it's got a little crest that goes up.
Dang.
Yeah.
So you inherited that. So
Yes.
so it's not a young bird.
It's not. No, I'm not sure how old he is, but he's maybe 10 years old or something.
Does he have like a personality?
Oh yeah. It's weird. So I've never been around birds before, and yeah, he's definitely got a personality. I mean, they don't really have like a bunch of facial muscles. So I was like, well, how can you really see what they're thinking?
Yeah.
Mhm.
But over time, you can start to tell just like by the way he looks at you,
Like a tilt of the neck.
yeah, like you're dead, bud.
Yeah,
It's just-
yeah.
He's a scary animal.
Does he talk?
So he'll say hi a lot.
Yeah.
Especially if there's a woman nearby, like he'll just go hi.
Really?
Yeah. And then, but that's it. Most of the time, he just yells at you. He's just like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Sick.
So that breed
Yeah.
doesn't. Yeah, it's great. It's really cool. So the first night that I lived with that parrot, when my wife and I moved in together,
Yeah.
we had it in a room at night, and we were asleep in the other room, and all of a sudden I heard my dogs like whimpering like they were hurt. Like, oh my God, what's going on?
Yeah.
So I get up and I'm all scared, and it gets quiet, and I walk into the other room, and that little butthole, it was mimicking the dogs being hurt. And so somehow it knows how to make like whimpering noises.
Oh wow.
And then
So it
So I
wasn't
go-
the dog?
no. I go in there and it's just real quiet. And then all of a sudden he yells at me to scare me. And I guess he was just like making sure I knew who was boss.
Yeah. And your wife, she just didn't flinch.
That's just normal behavior.
Yeah.
Normal behavior. Another day.
Man, so
Wait, what's the parrot's name?
BB.
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 BB. Oh,
Mhm.
okay. And
Yeah.
did it take some getting used to, or did you love it right off the bat?
Oh yeah, I like him. I mean,
Yeah.
I love him. You know, he's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It took some getting used to though. You know,
Yeah.
you go home and you entertain the parrot.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, yeah. So yeah, we went really quickly over the Google Home thing.
Oh
but
yeah, I forgot about that.
Tell me about
Where
that.
were we? Oh,
You were saying the Google Home you have to
Like
play
thunder and
yeah,
sounds.
yeah. So it listens to like thunderstorm sounds at night to sleep.
So do I. That's sick.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, you're like a
Every night, dude.
cockatoo, dude.
Even when it's like,
Yeah, I've always thought that about you. You
I've
know?
always thought that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Huh, I can see it.
Yeah.
oh my God.
Yeah. You got the little thing.
Just get mad. All right, we're going to end it right here.
Yeah. Man, well, that's pretty cool. So you have a few animals. You've got the parrot and the dog.
Yeah. Parrot, a Great Dane, and this little Jack Russell Pomeranian mix.
Wow, those are like extremes.
Yeah.
I know,
for
right?
Like it's not just a bird; it's a sweet bird that yells and talks,
So sweet.
and it's not,
So sweet.
and it's not just a dog. You have like a massive dog and a tiny dog.
Yeah. And the tiny dog and the bird, they get along. They'll play with each other and like chase
Yeah.
each other and stuff. And then
Oh, so the bird can like come out of the cage. and fly
yeah,
around?
he free roams. So he just kind of walks around and
That's
does
dope.
stuff. Yeah.
Free
Climbs-
roams?
Yeah.
Dang,
They're pretty cool like that.
is it
you know?
potty trained?
Yeah. The only time he'll go is like he'll go back to his cage and
Really?
Take care of business.
take care of it.
Dang,
Yeah.
That's
then,
awesome.
And then he just bullies my Great Dane. So
Really?
oh yeah, he's so afraid of him. Yeah. It's
The Great Dane is?
yeah.
Man, it's the Great Dane's pretty big.
Yeah. He's about 130 pounds.
Oh my
There it
God.
is.
Mhm.
Yeah, dude, that's
Well,
massive.
I guess he's kind of a smaller Great Dane. But
Yeah.
He's still big.
Yeah.
So,
What about your other dog? Your other dog must be tiny.
yeah, he's like 20 pounds or something, 25 pounds.
Little.
I know.
Yeah.
That sounds like a fun house.
Yeah, and they grew up together, so they're the same age. And for a long time, the little dog and big dog, they used to play tug of war until Duke, the Great Dane, got too big and started throwing him across the room.
So I just imagine, the bird flying around screaming, Great Dane, little puppy, and then you just there with the sticks called.
The devil
yeah,
sticks.
the devil sticks.
Yeah, sometimes I get home and it's chaos. It's like chaos. You know?
Yeah. Get the sticks. Do you
I'm
still
going upstairs to devil stick.
do you still devil stick?
Yeah, I do.
Yes.
Mhm. Yeah, they're at my home office right now.
Right on. What are your other hobbies?
Man, I like to go to the lake and jet ski a lot. So we go to Canyon Lake more often than most people should.
Really?
And
It's
yeah,
beautiful.
go hang out there.
Do you
Yeah.
have a jet ski or you rent them?
My father and I, we have some. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Mhm.
awesome. So you and your wife go? Or?
Yeah. We go out there and it's just a whole big thing. It's
Yeah,
a lot of fun.
that's awesome.
Mhm.
You take the bird with you? And
No.
like a pirate?
no. I thought about it, but no.
That's awesome. Well, cool, man. Well, that's really all the questions that I have for you. But before we end it,
Mhm.
I ask everybody, for somebody who has always wanted to start their own business doing something technical like software development or DevOps or some kind of consulting or something, what advice would you give, or what advice do you wish somebody would have given you when you decided to take the leap and turn this from a hobby into a career?
Best thing to do is take action. I know that's so simple, right? But that's for almost anything. The hardest thing is to get over the hurdle of believing you can make money or that you're worth making money outside of an employer. A lot of people get stuck in that loop. So just take action. Quit planning. Quit doing anything. Jump. If you land on the coals, you're gonna walk a lot faster.
Yeah.
And that's all you have to do. And making money is not hard. Just taking action to make money is hard. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Take action. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's great stuff. Well, B. Howard, this was fantastic having you on the Geekdom Underground. Mr. JRG, if you would please, sir, take us home.
I will definitely do that. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to episode number 17 of the Geekdom Underground podcast. So I'm just gonna shout out this comment towards the end here. It says, "This went from Hackers, the movie, to Ace Ventura real quick." I love that so much.
Brandon and Grady just in the office with all these animals.
Shout out to Ryan Stewart for tuning in. Shout out to everyone for tuning in. What's up, Roger? We'll tune in next week for another amazing episode. Glad to have Elijah back in the studio. Shout out to the boy. Yeah, we'll see y'all next time. Thanks, everyone.
Bye, y'all.